Let's see if I can find the package for what I'm smoking here. It's Brady, New World Islander. I wanted to make a video that kind of means something to me. Why I smoke a tobacco pipe, why I take part in this old tradition that has really gone to the wayside for most mainstream culture, but for me it's a pretty significant and important part of my life that is sort of a recent adoption, but one that's just helped me in so many ways. I thought it might be neat to kind of work these thoughts out and share these thoughts with anybody who would like to listen, and maybe some like-minded people that feel the same way about tobacco pipe and things of the old nature, the old way of life. And that's very much the types of things that I find value in. So what I've got in my pipe today is one of my favorite blends, especially for a first smoke of the day type thing. It's the Peterson Early Morning Pipe. It's a very light blend, very mellow, with Virginias and Orientals, and it's just very, very it's not an extremely flavorful blend. It does have bits of Latakia in it, but it is what they call an English mixture, which is where I've been gravitating towards these days, and mostly I've been gravitating towards Peterson blends, especially because I just find right out of the can, there's nothing in this can now as I moved it to a mason jar, but right out of the can, it's just a wonderful experience. Packs in very nicely and smokes very nicely, and I just love it. I love early morning pipe for my first smoke of the day and nightcap for my last smoke of the day. This is a wonderful routine that I've had going on, and especially while I'm doing some reading or writing or working or thinking or anything of that nature, it's just been incredible. And when I talk, I let my pipe go out. So I thought it might be interesting to mention my journey with smoking. And it's been a lifelong journey, ups and downs, things I'm proud of, things I'm not proud of, but for a lot of my life, I smoked cigarettes, which I don't smoke now, thankfully, but I was what you call a heavy smoker at one time. A lot of my life I worked in restaurants, and part of restaurant culture is smoking, of course, and at one time I was smoking 2 packs a day, and I loved it. And for me, that's something that'll never change. It's, if you handed me a cigarette right now, I would love it. And for some of the same reasons, I love smoking a pipe, yes, but it's different, and I'm going to get into some of that. So I smoked a lot of cigarettes in my life. I smoked a lot. I used to smoke pot when I was younger, teenager and that. And of course I don't smoke that now. I even tried these vapes that a lot of the younger people are using nowadays, and I didn't get on with vaping at all. I hated it. I hated it felt like I was drowning. It felt like somebody was stomping on my chest a lot of the time. It was a very overwhelming feeling for me. I like to keep my pipe a little hot. I puff a lot on it. I like a little kick in it. I know I lose some of the flavor that way, but it's not just about the flavor for me. There's other aspects of this. There's the feeling in your throat. There's the act of, exhaling the smoke. It's a myriad of wonderful things, in my opinion. And maybe about a year ago, I started smoking. Well, I smoked cigars before that, but a year ago, I started smoking cigars quite frequently. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about something. And I liked cigars. I still do. I smoke them from time to time. Oh, I moved my humidors the other side of the room now, but from time to time I do like smoking a cigar, yes. However, I find them a bit overwhelming at times, a bit too long of a time commitment for me. I'm very busy. So the happy medium is the pipe. Similar flavor. I find it a more nuanced flavor and cooler flavor, and I find that because I like to smoke my tobacco hot, hard and hot, cigars get a little too hot, a little too burnt when I smoke them. And even though I've been smoking for, a lot of my life in various forms, I have found cigars a little too overwhelming for me. Headache, nausea, and I find my pulse gets a little too strong, and I don't know exactly what goes on with that, but cigars, just special occasions for me, especially when I'm outside doing something. I wouldn't mind a cigar. But eventually I landed on pipe smoking. That's where we are now. It's really the ultimate relaxation experience for me. And I'm cognizant of the history of tobacco, being for thousands of years used as an integral part of Aboriginal culture all over the world. It was used for ritual, ceremony, prayer, and it was held as a sacred plant with spiritual and healing aspects to it. And I understand that, and I agree with that and believe it. And I think that mainstream culture took that, and in manufacturing cigarettes and chewing tobacco and things like that, they added harmful chemicals to it to make it addicting and to make it reasonable for mass production. And that did a great disservice to tobacco and what it was really intended for. And for me, well, the whole therapeutic and meditation aspect is important to me as a man of faith. When it comes to pipe tobacco, I believe I can balance this hobby with my faith, that it doesn't cancel it out, that I can be a Christian and be a pipe smoker. But when it comes to cigarettes, and when you're addicted to something like that, I think there's, moral questions and ethical questions that are brought to light being that maybe it is permissible for you to smoke cigarettes and be a Christian, but is it wise? Is it beneficial? Is it something you can carry on through the long term of your faith journey, of your life journey? And in the end, when it's all said and done and you're made to answer for your choices, is it something you can defend? Is it something that your God would look at you and look past and agree with you that it was a valuable part of your life? And when it comes to pipe tobacco, I would argue that this is a valuable part of life. This is a meaningful part of life, and this is and can be an important part of the Christian life, the Christian journey. And if you're not a Christian, I know that doesn't matter so much to you, and that's okay. But I just wanted to explain my context. Something else that's important to me is the flavor, the aroma, the act of the burning tobacco and how it dances around you and how it surrounds you and clings to you. There's something about it. The flavor is a wonderful thing. Like I was saying with these Peterson blends, I love the way they taste. Another one I love. Here. That's not it. That's another one, but that's not what I was going to show you. This is some Davidoff Blue. It's okay, but it's a little too fragrant for my liking. I'm not quite overly fond of it. That's why there's so much of it left, a full jar probably. This is what I'm trying to get. I just cut the lid there. 3 Nuns. I recently started smoking 3 Nuns, and I don't think it's going to focus for you. There you go. I recently started smoking 3 Nuns, and really, really enjoy the cut and the flavor in this one. Much deeper flavor than early morning pipe that I'm smoking now, so I might enjoy that in the evening, say with a cup of coffee or even a glass of some stronger drink, kind of to wash it down with something else of a strong flavor. And it really helps you to experience the full glory of what we're doing here. Really what we're doing in this world, I guess. And as opposed to cigarettes and other things, a pipe full of tobacco is really a natural way of getting those flavors. Same with cigars. You're really getting, in essence, 100% natural tobacco. Now, I know in some cases there's things added to it, for flavor profile and things like that, but really what you're getting is the closest we can get to completely natural tobacco. And that's important to me. I don't want all the chemicals that's added to cigarettes. I don't want the crap that's added to chewing tobacco. I want the real deal, the full natural experience, the same as what I was saying earlier that native cultures used for their important cultural traditions. It's a wonderful, relaxing thing. It's a great blessing in my life. especially outside, a nice cold brisk day in the woods, breathing in that smooth smoke from the pipe. What could be better? And I'm just enjoying this now. We're getting down to a very flavorful portion of this bowl here. It's wonderful. It's like I don't want to stop to talk, but I know this is dragging on, getting a bit long listening to me ramble on, but that's the whole point of this, is just an ode to my appreciation for the pipe, an ode to my appreciation for, where I've ended up on my journey with tobacco, where I've come from, and what was provided for me to overcome these things I did, because I don't want to be smoking cigarettes. I don't want to be addicted to something. But I should be able to experience something that's always been important to me, like tobacco, something that I love. And something I love about tobacco is that, in the pipe, pipe tobacco is, you can enjoy this at your own pace. If I had to get up right now and go, I can put this down, and I can come back later and I can light it again, and I'm going to get much of the same flavor. A little dried out, a little harsher, but a cigar, I was never fond of coming back to a cigar after putting it out. It's never the same. It's never even similar in my experience. When it comes to this, there's no rush. I'm on my own time. I can stop, I can pick it up. I can let it go out, I can lie back and continue thinking. I don't need to constantly puff on it. I can light it again. It's no big deal, and this is when I do a lot of my thinking. This is when I prioritize, put things into perspective. I quiet my mind. I suffer from a lot of stress and anxiety, and even to an extent depression, things like that. And this helps me to come back to the base of who I am, to forget about the things that I really don't need to be harping on, but I can't stop running it over and over and over in my mind. This just helps me to chill out and think. And when I'm writing, when I'm working on a project, anything like that, this helps me to focus and to clear my mind and fill my mind with what's really important, and help me to communicate that effectively. And the last reason I wanna bring up for why I do this and where I got the idea to do this is that many of my influences smoke pipes. Many great people throughout history smoke pipes. And at one time, this was very commonplace. Nowadays, it's very taboo. It's certainly unique when you find someone who does it. C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, the fictional Sherlock Holmes by Arthur Conan Doyle, Bing Crosby, Albert Einstein, Mark Twain, Ernest Hemingway, lots and lots of incredibly talented and effective communicators smoked a pipe. Maybe that's why they were such remarkable and world-changing thinkers. I think, and I believe this to the whole, that this gives you some sort of unique ability to express the important things in life, to express the essence of life, to pour your soul out into what you do, into what you want to do, into what you want to be. I think this is an important addition to that. I think this is really something special, something that shouldn't be chastised, that I know a lot of people are against smoking. A lot of people would consider this disgusting or unhealthy for you, and there is an argument to the health aspect of it. I'm not going to lie and say this is a healthy choice. Certainly not as unhealthy as cigarette smoking or chewing tobacco, or even a lot of the food we eat and drinking alcohol and things like that. I think this is a lot healthier than those things. But I'm not going to say that it's good for you physically. As long as you don't inhale, I think it's quite healthy, quite safe. But there are risks to your oral health and your esophagus. And there's things you can do to mitigate the risk. Make sure you're not inhaling, brush your teeth after, things like that. Things you would do anyway, I would think. But in terms of the pros and cons, I think the mental health aspect of it is far outweighing the negative. So I want to continue on this line of thinking. I know this has dragged on long enough. This is getting boring and foolish. So I'm going to end this here, but I wanted to open up the conversation if you wanted to talk in the comments section below, or message me or something. Let's talk about this. I mean, is pipe smoking making a comeback? This is my reason for smoking. What's your reason? Has this helped you like it's helped me? Because this has changed my life and become something very special and important to me. And I'm so very thankful and grateful for it. What's your favorite pipes? What's your favorite blends? What's your favorite tobaccos? Is this as wonderful as I'm saying, or am I out to lunch? Let's discuss, let's connect, and let's, have a positive space for discussing these things. Because in the real world, in the physical, where we are, where you're watching this, where I am, there's not a lot of support and there's not a lot of people doing it. So let's find each other on YouTube here, and we can talk. We can support each other. Until then, thanks for watching. I don't know if you made it through this. This was kind of boring thinking back on it, but we'll see how it goes. And if it goes okay, maybe I'll be back continuing on this discussion. Maybe I'll have something else to talk about. Thank you. God bless you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.